Well, good afternoon. I'm Mayor John Engen, and with me today is Missoula County Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer. Good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Folks, during emergencies and disasters, such as the current pandemic, a group of organizations called the COAD, which stands for Community Organizations Active in Disaster, mobilize through our Incident Command system to identify, assess, and meet community needs. In this instance, those needs are beyond what the Public Health Department is working to meet. So we're solving problems outside of that. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor Engen. So in the case at hand, we have 6 key areas that our COAD is trying to address. These task forces include economic recovery, childcare, food security, volunteers and donations, mental and behavioral health, and housing and homelessness. Last week, if you were able to tune in, Grant Keir from the Missoula Economic Partnership joined the video call and talked a bit about the Economic Recovery Task Force's work. This week, we are joined by Rob Edwards, who serves as the Community Services Director at the Missoula Aging Services, and also Rob heads up our Food Security Task Force. So welcome, Rob, and glad you could join us to tell us a little bit about the work that you're involved in. I guess just to kick things off, Rob, would you like to tell us a bit about the task force and the participating organizations in it?
Great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's a privilege to be taking part in this community effort and to see the good work that's being done here. So the Food Security Task Force mission is to collaborate and communicate to identify issues, prioritize messages, and establish what the needs of the community food programs are in Missoula County. What we're looking to do with this group is to monitor the food supply chain in Missoula County, see where we are in groceries, what kind of food delivery services we have, where we are in that situation for Missoula. Secondly, to identify the needs that we need to support community food meal preparation and distribution within the Missoula County area. And third, to monitor the task force members' status and reduce duplication, really work to enhance teamwork among the agencies. Got a great group of agencies that are working with us on this. The Missoula Food Bank, Montana Food Bank Network, Dining Services has been active in trying to work with us to find some solutions. Of course, the Poverello Center, Salvation Army, the state is participating with their SNAP and WIC staff, YWCA, MCPS with their food program for the students. The United Way, as always, is involved, and Animeals, thinking of the meals and the food security for our pets out there as well. And then, of course, Partnership Health Centers also helping with us.
That's great, Rob. Thanks. So if someone in the community is having trouble feeding themselves, feeding their family, what resources are available?
You know, this is one of the beautiful things that this group has gone to set up so far in advance that the county has done such a great job with, and the city, is that the best resource we've got is the Missoula County website right now. That is the covid19.missoula.co/food security. That's got the list of all the services from Missoula Aging Services to the Food Bank Networks to MCPS, as well as a lot of links to click on to find some things you may be able to help with or take part in. You can also call the Missoula County line, city line, that is 258-INFO, and they can pass those information along to you as well.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
Great. Well, Rob, as I think we all are aware, the Missoula community is an extremely generous community and interested in caring for each other. So could you tell us just a little bit about how the community has responded to requests for support and the effort that you're engaged in?
Correct. You know, Missoula County just never ceases to amaze me. We have had, just here at Missoula Aging Services, well over 100 volunteers offer to come in, help deliver Meals on Wheels. And then we've got another large group that are actually making phone calls to people who are at risk for feeling socially isolated. The numbers are constantly growing. We can't even use all the volunteers that are coming out of the woodwork. One of the best examples, I think, that the Montana Food Bank Network talked about last week in one of our meetings was that they had a sudden donation of 40,000 pounds of pork product and 10,000 gallons of milk from Montana producers. those kind of things just, I think, personify what Montana's all about.
That's fantastic.
So, Rob, we can't anticipate how long this situation will continue, but what plans does the group have for kind of sustaining its efforts as we continue to make our way through this pandemic?
Yeah, it's a great question. Right now the food chain looks pretty strong. We are experiencing some delays in getting orders, as well as certain items that are difficult to track down. But right now we seem to be looking pretty good at this point. You might even have noticed some toilet paper showing up on grocery store shelves this weekend. It's been outstanding to see. We're really preparing for those possibilities of what might happen down the line should we not come out of this as fast as we're hoping. For us here at Missoula Aging Services, we've amped up our food supply to our Meals on Wheels clients. We're actually set a new record last week for meals delivered in a week, with delivering just over 3,600 meals to 337 clients last week. That's well over double what we do in a normal week. What we're doing to prepare, though, is just in case this does get more severe and we may lose our kitchen staff, or we may lose our ability to prepare some of these meals, we're trying to have a plan C. So after this meeting with you folks, I've got to go over and take receipt of 6,500 shelf-stable meals that are being delivered, just as a backup plan, something that we can store and we can get out should the need arise. We're hoping it doesn't arise and we can utilize those shelf-stable meals in the future if we have a flooding issue or fires that we've needed, those kind of things. But we've really had a lot of conversations to prepare. The Montana prison system is offered to provide frozen meals at a very reasonable cost. Of course, some of the shipping and transporting of those things is a challenge. But those solutions are out there, and it's nice seeing this group working together to try to make sure that we're working together to find the solutions that are there.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure that a lot of folks who are watching might be thinking to themselves, I don't have a bunch of pork or beef to be able to donate, but are there donations that can be made? And what sort of needs do the partners who comprise the task force need?
Sure. So, all these agencies that we're working with are being financially challenged by this pandemic, and we could all use donations at this point in time. All these agencies provide vital services to the community in good times and in bad. And it's times like this where we really appreciate the support that's given through those donations. The other way that I think that, and this is a Missoula and a Montana thing that I would really encourage people to do, is try to be part of the solution at your neighborhood level. Try to look out for each other. Let's look out for those neighbors who may be a little more at risk to check in, just to keep that social isolation and the issues that are coming up from that. And see if they need some groceries, some delivery, something like that you can do one-on-one to people, because that's where we can make the biggest difference.
Great. That's great. Thanks, Rob. So challenges that you've seen and overcome.
Yeah, there have been a lot of challenges in this. Of course, the delays in getting delivery of meals and delivery of food has been huge to start with. The food supply had a little hiccup when we had all the new rush on the grocery stores, but of course that's leveled out pretty nicely. For us at Meals on Wheels, and for some of the other groups here that rely on volunteers, a lot of our volunteers are over the age of 60, which puts them in that risk group for the COVID-19. So we've had to really have some frank conversations with all those volunteers to make sure they understand that we want them, first of all, looking out for their own health and the health of their family. So we've had to be creative with how we covered the work that volunteers have provided. We've had an overwhelming offer for that, groups stepping up to do that in the community, and it's been great. Of course, from a business standpoint, all of us are working with a new world here of this remote technology. Just here at Missoula Aging Services, trying to have 56, 57 staff members operating from home has been quite the experience, and the technology needs have been a challenge. I've got 4 teenagers and my wife working from home today, which is why you might notice that I'm in my office right now. But trying to get that technology there has been a challenge. But the biggest thing I can tell you that is a positive in that area, the challenge, is the fact that Missoula County is so far ahead of the curve on dealing with emergencies. The emergency management staff from Missoula County has been working on emergency planning through this COAD and through these areas for years. And Nick and his team have been so strong, and Adrian just really building this structure up so that it was easy to pull us together. We've been doing this through floods, through fires, and this one's really bringing out the challenge in us. It's calling us to do the work we've planned before. So I think just thanks to that group, this has been amazingly smooth.
Well, thanks to those folks for sure, and thanks to you for all that you're doing, all that Aging Services does. It provides me, as an elected official, tremendous comfort to know that folks aren't going hungry for lack of services in our community. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you. We are actually not at capacity, so if anybody out there knows somebody over the age of 60 or under the age of 60 with a disability, please have them call us at Missoula Aging Services, 728-7682, and we can get you started on meals right away. We are reducing some of our restrictions on the homebound status, figuring that people are homebound right now due to this pandemic, and we're here to help, and we haven't met our capacity yet, but we sure want to help anybody who can need some help.
And just as a reminder to everyone, we mentioned it earlier, but if you want any information about the response to the COVID-19 crisis, 258-INFO is the number to call. And I would just reiterate, continue social distancing, continue being generous with your community and your neighbors, and be safe.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Commissioner. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.